Does the Bible advocate slavery?
All right, let's see it.
When we think of slavery, we think of films such as 12 Years a Slave, Django Unchained, or Roots that depict the brutality of the transatlantic slave trade. Now, this was a disgusting business that goes against everything that the Bible teaches. Thankfully, this form of slavery was abolished because of the intensive campaigning from evangelical Christians such as William Wilberforce. History teaches us that Christianity is the solution against this horrific form of slavery and certainly not an advocate for it.
History teaches absolutely no such thing whatsoever. The fact that Christians were involved in the abolition of slavery does not mean that slavery was abolished because of Christianity. Christians were also involved in the creation of the transatlantic slave trade, as well as its authorization through the creation of the concepts of race as a question of skin color and a hierarchy of races and white supremacy and the notion that non-Christian peoples need to be enslaved so that they can be given the gospel. Now, in all these cases, including the abolition of slavery, sure, Christians appealed to the Bible as their rationalization for what they're doing. And in all those cases, that is a result of negotiating with the text. None of those positions are in the Bible, but they can be generated through this process of negotiation between the scriptural heritage, the contemporary circumstances, and the rhetorical goals of the people who are negotiating with the text. So it's the intersection of all those different things that results in these outcomes. Slavery was not abolished because of the Bible. Slavery was abolished despite the Bible.
But many argue that the Bible does give clear instruction on how to manage slaves. And we do see this in Exodus 21, in Leviticus 25, in Deuteronomy 15, in Colossians 3, and Ephesians 6. Yet back then, slavery was very different to how we understand it today. When these texts were written, most people survived through a subsistence economy. And if you and your family had a bad crop one year or got into debt and could not pay it off, you could either starve to death or you could offer yourself to a richer family to work for them in exchange for bed and board. This was the common understanding of the slavery referred to in the Bible. Entire families would be raised under their master's care. They would be well fed and watered. The children would be well educated. They would be housed and have access to health care. And the parents would hold positions of responsibility in their master's household. And on Jubilee year, when all the debts were cleared, the family that were in slavery could return home if they wished. They also had the choice to stay with their master, which of course many did.
So this is a pretty standard example of a social safety net slavery apologetic, which imagines that the only type of enslavement that is condoned and endorsed in the Bible is a mythical type of debt slavery that is really there to function as a social safety net to give aid to people who fall upon hard times. And it imagines that they are having their children well educated and that they're being given free health care and that they're being given positions of authority within the household, and they're all coming together around the campfire at night to share a meal and sing "Our God is an Awesome God." And there are three problems with this apologetic. The first is that none of that is true. You cannot find anything anywhere in the Bible that says any children of enslaved people are being well educated, or that they're being given free health care, or that they're being given all kinds of authority within the household. That's all made up. And the second problem is that it is presupposing the univocality of the Bible and overlooking the differences in the ways that slavery is regulated across these different books. So if you look in Leviticus 25, yes, it says that they go free in the Jubilee year after 49 years of debt slavery. But if you look in Exodus 21, it says you go free in the 7th year after 6 years of debt slavery, as long as you're a man. If you're a woman who has been sold into debt slavery by her father or by someone who already possessed her, you never go free. You are forever a debt slave, or more than likely a concubine or a sex slave. If you look in Deuteronomy, the male and the female debt slaves all go free in the 7th year. So there are different regulations here that directly contradict each other because these are different sets of rules written by different people in different times and circumstances and places for different reasons. The third problem, however, is the biggest problem, and that is that this apologetic flatly ignores the explicit endorsement of chattel slavery in the Bible, because there are two different types of enslavement that are condoned and endorsed in the Bible. Yes, debt slavery is condoned and endorsed for Israelites. Chattel slavery is condoned and endorsed for non-Israelites, and this is explicit in Leviticus 25, verses 44 through 46. It just got done saying when a native Israelite goes into debt slavery, you're not supposed to treat them like an enslaved person. You're supposed to treat them like a hired laborer. And then it says, ooh, not so for the non-Israelites, the people who are born to foreigners in your land or that you purchase from other lands. Yeah, you can enslave them forever. They are your property. You can pass them down as inheritance, and you can treat them like enslaved people. So chattel slavery is explicitly condoned and endorsed in the Hebrew Bible as the type of enslavement that you can impose upon non-Israelites. And this apologetic has to entirely ignore that. And the fit for this video has been Green Lantern.